Hi y'all, I'm Nina from Need More Time. Welcome to my kitchen today. Today I'd like to share with you one of my family favorites. It is a grain bowl. We love grain bowls because you can eat them warm, cold, more like a salad, and you can really change up the flavors by just changing what sauce you use or changing up what veggies you put in it, even changing up the greens. So it's nice to get creative, try new combinations. Today, one of my favorite combinations I'm going to share with you is using brown rice and quinoa. That's why we actually have two instant pots here for you today. Yes, I actually have two of them. Many times, you probably wonder why on earth would I have two? Well, many times when I'm making a meal, I actually want to cook two different ingredients via the Instant Pot method. So if you have two of them, it can make that very handy because it can just speed up the cooking process. So today we're going to make brown rice in one and quinoa in the other. And the reason I have to cook them separately is because they require different amounts of liquid as well as totally different cooking times. So if you, like I said, having two can be convenient. And then as far as what veggies we're going to put in it, we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to be using some broccoli as well as edamame. We love edamame. I get it already shelled and frozen, so it's easy to use whenever you need it. If you have a soy allergy, I would probably use chickpeas in place of the edamame. And we're also going to put some almond slices in it. And the sauce is going to be Asian inspired. It only has 5 ingredients plus water, so really simple to throw together. So anyway, to get started, we're going to go ahead and rinse our grains and get those in the Instant Pots. All right, let's head over to the sink. Okay, so to start, I'm going to rinse my quinoa. I highly suggest getting one of these little sieves, strainers. They're super convenient. I use them in the kitchen a lot to rinse my grains as well as rinse off small fruit like berries. They're very convenient. So we're going to do 1 cup of quinoa. You always want to rinse quinoa especially because it will remove a bitter aftertaste flavor that would remain in your quinoa if you don't rinse it. So definitely rinse your quinoa. You don't need to rinse it long, just for a few seconds here. All right, that's good enough there. I'm just going to turn around here and go ahead and put this in one of my Instant Pots. All right, second, we're going to rinse 2 cups of brown rice. Just use whichever brown rice you prefer. I prefer jasmine brown rice to basmati, but a lot of people like basmati as well. You could even use white rice. If you used white rice and cooked it in an Instant Pot, it would cook a lot faster, but I prefer the brown rice. So we're just going to use the brown rice today. All right, so that's rinsed off. When you rinse your rice, you remove some of the arsenic that's naturally in it from just growing in the soil. The brown rice I get is this one from Trader Joe's. It is from Thailand, and Asian grown rice, if you research it, has less arsenic in the soil than American grown rice, so I like to get it from Thailand. All right, we're going to go ahead and put this in the Instant Pot now as well. All right, now that our grains are rinsed, we're going to go ahead and get them going in the Instant Pot. This one right here is my quinoa. I have 1 cup of quinoa. I'm going to add 1 1/4 cups of water. You can just leave it as water, but I love this veggie broth powder. If you've seen some of my other recipes, you've seen I use it a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of that just for some extra flavor. We're going to add a teaspoon in there. All right. And I'm just going to mix that up. And quinoa cooks well in an Instant Pot set on 5 minutes. If you want to speed up your cooking of grains, one thing I forgot to mention was what you could do is right before you rinse your grains, you could go ahead and put your water in the Instant Pot and just left the lid open and hit the saute button. The saute button will start to heat the inside of the pot and will essentially heat your water. So then when you're finished rinsing the grains and you throw your grains in the Instant Pot and turn it on, because the water is already hot, it will ultimately speed up the process of it coming to pressure and ultimately finishing. So that's my tip as far as speeding up any cooking of any grain that you might have in Instant Pot. Anyway, I forgot to do that, so that's why I'm just explaining it to you now. So there we go, there's our quinoa. We got that ready to go. Now we're going to go ahead and cook the brown rice. The brown rice we already added. Now I'm going to add, since this is 2 cups of brown rice, 2 cups of brown rice will require 2 3/4 cups of water. And I'm going to put in just a little less than a tablespoon of my veggie broth powder. This veggie broth powder I get on Amazon. I've never seen it in stores. If you are interested in it, just check out the link in my description below, and you can get that easy on Amazon. All right, so we've got that mixed up. We're going to go ahead and seal our pot. Make sure the vent is sealed always, or your grains will not come to pressure. And for brown rice, we're going to set that for 22 minutes. Okay. All right, there we go. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is make our sauce. Okay, so blending our sauce ingredients is honestly not totally necessary, but because I put minced garlic in it and I just want my minced garlic to be super smooth and incorporated into the whole sauce, I'm going to put it in the blender, but you honestly could just whisk it in a bowl and it would be just as good. So whichever you prefer. To go ahead and start, we're going to put 1/2 cup of almond butter in the blender, which I've just already pre-measured here for us. I get my almond butter from Costco. They have an organic one and it's really good and cost effective if you use a lot of nut butters in your house. And then we're also going to put in a few other ingredients here. We have 2 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. We have 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. You can get that in any normal grocery store. 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and then 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. And then finally, 4 tablespoons of water or veggie broth. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put that in our blender and just blend it here for a few seconds. All right, that's it. That's honestly all that's required. So when our grains are ready, we'll go ahead and add this sauce to it, as well as our broccoli and the edamame. For now, all I'm gonna do is put the edamame and the broccoli in the microwave to heat up, because I've just used frozen ones. And then we'll also sprinkle on some sliced almonds and green onions on top to finish it off. All right, y'all, so our grains are finally finished cooking. The quinoa only took 5 minutes to come to pressure and about 5 minutes to cook, so in all 10 minutes. The brown rice took about 10 minutes to come to pressure, and then the 22 minutes that I set it to cook. The reason the brown rice took longer to come to pressure is because I've had more food in it. If you're not familiar with Instant Pots, know that the more you fill it, the longer it will take to come to pressure. So if you have a small amount of food to cook, it's going to be super quick. Anyway, after it finished, you want to let your grains cool about 10 minutes at least before you open the pot. That would be my recommendation for almost all grains. Beans, you want to just let naturally release pressure all the way before you open it. Our brown rice, it still has a little bit of pressure, so I'm going to go ahead and just release it here so we can get the pot open. All right, now I've opened up the Instant Pots. I'm gonna go ahead and put my rice and quinoa in my bowl. Be careful, these pots can be super hot. My hands are pretty tough to the heat. Just use a little rag if you have one close by. So I like this combination of rice and quinoa, a little more rice than the quinoa. If you're a real fan of quinoa, by all means, just use quinoa if you want. But the texture of a combination of the two, my family really enjoys. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix those two together. And then we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add that sauce we made earlier in the blender. This is obviously what's gonna ultimately give our meal real flavor. I'm a fan of all different kinds of sauces because, I mean, hey, who wants to eat bland food, right? I mean, it's so quick to just throw a few ingredients together. It doesn't have to be super complicated and it doesn't take a lot of time at all. So please experiment with different sauces. And then lastly, we're gonna throw in some of our broccoli. This is probably not all gonna fit in this size bowl. So, but I don't have a bigger bowl to show you guys. So I'm just gonna work with what we have here. I don't know if you guys heard my kids earlier. I've been trying to record here with kids at home and it can be a little complicated. All right, now that I have it all mixed up, I'm just gonna go ahead and serve it here. As much as you want there. And then some slivered almonds are really nice to throw on top, as well as some chopped up green onions. And there you have it. Hope you guys make this bowl. Please subscribe to my channel and I look forward to sharing more simple, easy, healthy recipes with your family.